Good afternoon and welcome back live to the Forex Dubai Expo. I'm joined by Dan Lawrance, our CEO of Scope Prime, and our Chief Commercial Officer, Lochlan White. So today's discussion, gents, we're going to discuss all-in-one solution unlocking market potential. Something we've discussed all day in our videos is how we see Scope. So a lot of the other brokers, as we discussed here, have grown from the ground up as traditional retail, maybe expanded into the institutional space, where Scope is a very much different animal, 10 years of institutional and now growing down. Maybe, Dan, you can take away why Scope has been so successful over the 10 years and where, we see our key points there.
Yeah, I think the reason Scope's been very successful in the institutional space, particularly in the Middle East region, is due to our flexible approach. We haven't taken the one-size-fits-all approach. We have expanded into different product ranges and different asset classes for the investors to move away from the traditional assets traded in the region, such as gold, to expand into the US markets, other commodities, to expand their trading experience.
So in essence, becoming a true multi-asset broker, not just on the derivative sides, but from cash equities, futures, ETFs, and these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. In terms of the assets and the AU we've built and the one-size-fits-all approach and the one-stop shop, if you will, which people band around, that's where we've seen growth, and we continue to see growth. The fact that both institutional and high net worth investors in the region and globally can come and trade in one environment.
Okay. And then in terms of market share, Scope obviously has quite a high percentage in terms of the broker side. How do we as a company, or how do you on the institutional side, how do you manage any conflict of interest between our own retail business or any potential other clients?
So it's a really difficult question, to be honest, and a tough one to answer. Being honest, there is always going to be a level of conflict. I think we try and take more of a consultative approach with our brokers to provide products to them in order to expand their client base and their touch. Recently, for example, we've launched the local industry market here because there has been a demand from our clientele and brokers here that have underlying clients. So we try and work and facilitate in a consultative manner how we can add product for our clients.
Yeah, and I suppose by having such a wide variety of products and then the customization, you mean it doesn't necessarily cross over into your own products or within the multiple brokers who are taking from us as well. So it enables that. And then that obviously helps the clients maintain lifespan, expand our business, and it's more true partnerships then.
Exactly. And I think partnership's the key word there. Like it is a partnership. We're not seen as the evil broker, if you will. There, it is a partnership, and we're trying to work with our partners in not just the MENA region and other regions of the world in order to partner with them and grow the region together. Really.
So you're obviously one of the spearheads. You're virtually from exactly day one. I know we have Lochlan joining as well. Where do you see Lochlan fitting into that group? Is it to drive new market growth? Is it because of the new product?
Yeah, I think it's to drive new markets reach. More, I'd say, the true institution space, the hedge fund space. And he comes from a place where he has extensive experience of that.
Excellent. Lochlan, maybe, I was going to say, maybe you can add a little bit in opposed to letting us talk for you.
Oh, it's always nice to receive compliments. Look, I think from my perspective, what I've seen, I've only been here for a week, but what I've seen is really, it's a pleasure to see. So things such as just the size of the balance sheet is enormous, or surprisingly large and so healthy. And to see the different things that Scope's investing in. I mean, just last week we had our strategy week. And to be able to be, to sit in that room and see all the things that we have coming up over the next 12 to 24 months, it gets me very, very excited. And I'm sure it gets you excited, Fraser.
100%. I mean, it's something I think we all three of us have really discussed multiple times, is like, it's the ability and it's the aim is to be a one-stop shop. Clients can come to us and they can trade derivatives, cash equities, hopefully crypto very, very soon as well. And I think that's where it changes. And I think for me, as a personal basis, one of the reasons I joined 7 weeks ago, and I know from discussions we've had, it's similar. I mean, from your aspect, do you see the market shifting to more that people want to just face one, not necessarily one LP, but they want to face one LP who can give them everything, then have 3 or 4 of them so they can diversify, opposed to having 10 or 20 as they are now?
It's a great question. Look, I don't know the answer for that for sure, but what I can tell you is where the edge that Scope has that I've picked up on, and I think that I add to it, and obviously both of these two gentlemen add to as well, is we're experts in different areas. So we're building a specialist team on the point services side, which is our scope client team. Experts in each different region. Obviously, I've got a unique sort of expertise. I come from Australia, so I've got a lot of, APAC experience. I grew up in Hong Kong and Singapore. Our previous company was Japanese, so I understand the market in Japan quite well. But I've actually lived in Cyprus for the last 3 years. So I've got quite a unique aspect of experience in dealing with the brokerage market. And I think that touches on exactly what we are very, very good at, is bespoke solutions. Bespoke solutions are only possible when you have all of the different products that Scope offers. And I think by investing in technology, which is, that's our next step, is to really heavily invest in technology and continuing to invest in the people and the teams, we will only optimize our offering further.
100%. And something we've discussed there is, us as a company, we have very seamless, good onboarding. It's like a lot of companies, very competitive. Where I see our edge, and maybe I'm wrong, but you guys can expand on it, is our tech agnostic ability. So we've used PrimeXM 1.0 for several years. We've just onboarded with Centroid. This isn't just for business. It's also to make it easier for our clients, so they're not paying higher volume fees. Do you see any other growth potential in the market for new tech, or do we think we're mostly saturated with those providers these days?
Well, that's a tricky question.
I think there's always someone new, but I don't think there's anyone new who's good. That's always sometimes the problem.
Yeah, look, did you want to take that? Well, I'll do my best to take it from my perspective, and it's probably a good thing that we might have different.
Just to give you a lead in, and the way I'm thinking, look at Iris, for example. Iris is a very high-level product that most people have never touched, but we're now making it a little bit more accessible to let's say, the lower end of the market with lower capital adequacies and things like that. Do you see that as maybe the next step in that market shift for other brokers going there, or do you see us being a more of an outlier because of our unique market share and our position?
Look, my perspective is that I think it's about selecting the right technology and not accepting everything.
Yeah,
you have to specialize in certain areas, and you have to be the best in certain areas. And I think that's what we've done by selecting the partners that we currently have. Iris is this extremely unique platform or piece of technology. I'm very fortunate to have over 10 years of experience at my previous brokerage firm with Iris, and it is something that could change this entire brokerage landscape because of its DMA or its direct market access to equities and futures.
The way I said it to someone else is we're changing the boundaries. Whereas previously the boundaries limited you to this space, we're moving them out, giving people more access to. I think we've all heard the democratization of the finance world. And I think the easiest way to do that is providing them with the tools and access they never had before.
Just touching that question, I think it's the fact that the technology will continue to evolve. There's always going to be the 3-4 top players. But I think what we're doing is actually providing accessibility to a broader range of clientele that wants to use the technology that's there in a very fortunate manner in that regard. It's accessibility that we're providing to a bigger environment of clients.
And I think also, listen, we can all be honest, the technology plays a part, but also the personalities play a part. You're a very much larger life than character. Everyone knows you down in the market. Okay. But also the ethos of the company with transparency, integrity, these kind of things will trace through. I think we have add-ons like yourself, myself, whether from our senior marketing management team, And I think that's the whole thing. It's not just about giving the technology or the liquidity. You'd have to embed it and live it as the company as well and have the people who drive it have that attitude.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all of us, I'm sure, whenever we go and purchase something, we buy something, you go and do it with a brand or someone that you actually know, recognize, rather than someone new. And I think that's what we're providing people, the access to the market with a brand of both brand and recognized brands. And it's that trust factor, I think, that we're giving to a lot of different regions where, as Lot mentioned, we are hiring well-known people with dedicated product experience.
And also locally and in locale, within Africa, within here for Southeast Asia, with Arabic languages. And I think that's the thing. It's not just a one-stop shop expecting to speak English. You need also the cultural side of it.
Yeah. It's part of the whole product and service to provide, even though we're a global company, we're very local in some of the ways that we provide, language, technical support. The platforms are different. We provide local products in local markets as well. So even though we're global, we provide a very local service to a lot of regional countries.
Yeah, so I think in concise ways to put it is we've got multi-platform access because we're tech agnostic. We have good integration, experienced guys, and we're providing true multi-assets. And I think that's, to me, that's what sets us apart. You know, it's what enables the retail to excel. And without you guys excelling, we can't do what we do, and vice versa. I think it's that great playoff with great teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've summed it up very well-rounded manner. At the end of the day, the institutional side of Scope Prime, we try to provide best service, best products in order to get better pricing from our upstream LPs, prime brokers. And that has an improvement and improvement on lower down to our retail clients who benefit from those price improvements and access to market.
Yes, lead the market standards and set them and don't follow them, which I think is a true one. Thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. It's the end of our day here at the Dubai Expo, but we'll be back tomorrow with more live vlogs.